Good morning, Margo. Thank you so much for joining me.
Good morning, Lee. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's so nice to chat to you, Margo. You are very much a part of the deVonk family and very, very close to my heart. And there's a very special reason why we are featuring you in this issue of the deVonk Lifestyle magazine. And that is to find out more about Margo's journey, what it's all about. So welcome.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful to be here, and I'm grateful to be able to share the story behind Margo's journey.
Wonderful. Thank you, Margo. So for our readers who don't know, you have cancer. Would you mind just telling us what cancer do you have? What type of cancer?
Okay, so it started out going to the gynae last year with a little bit of a problem, and it landed up that I had stage 2B cervical cancer. I had gone through a massive journey, which I'll explain a little bit later, but I'm now currently on stage 4 cancer, which means that it's spread throughout my body and it's now gone into my bones, my spine, my liver, and other organs besides my cervix.
Oh, Margo, and tell me what has the journey been like from a treatment perspective? You know, I can't imagine what you are going through, and I think a lot of our other readers can't imagine it either, who have not experienced something like this themselves. But tell me a bit about the treatment part of it.
Okay. Well, Lee, to be honest with you, I find myself in a very fortunate situation where, number one, I have a medical aid. Unfortunately, the medical aid doesn't cover a lot, so I've been very blessed so much with friends that have actually helped with BackaBuddy funds and things like that. But in terms of the actual treatments, I got to go see a private gynecologist, and I also went through to a private hospital, thankfully, through the medical aid. I got introduced to a team of oncologists. So not only did I have one doctor, it was more than one doctor. I had a team working with me. So a chemo oncologist, a radiation oncologist, and then a specialist nurse that deals specifically with cancer patients. So in terms of treatments, I had chemotherapy, and I also had radiation therapy. So I had 6 weeks of daily radiation. And then I had chemo once a week for 6 weeks during the radiation period. Thereafter, I had to go through 4 brachytherapy sessions. Now, brachytherapy is an internal radiation medical thing, you know, that they lie you down in a room, and it's horrible. It's really horrible, and it's not something I wish upon anybody. And this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And this is where this all stems from, because nobody should go through this, and nobody's families should go through this either.
Margo, thank you for sharing some information with me around your treatment. And you know, it's there's one thing that I've realized, and everyone is on their own journey, and everyone undergoes experiences in their life that firstly they did not foresee or plan for, or thought that could never happen to me, or you know, but I do believe that with everything there are not only negatives that come along with it, but I think some positives as well.
Absolutely.
Would you mind telling me a bit about, yes, some of the negatives, because it is the reality, but then also what, if any, at this stage, positives that have come out of it? Would you mind telling me a bit about that as well, please?
Absolutely. You know, you choose whether you want to see the roses in the garden or the thorns in the garden. It's your decision whether you want to see the good or the bad. And I've chosen to find the silver lining wherever possible. Okay, look, it's not easy to find silver lining when you're
Yes.
throwing up in a bag wherever you are, or you have your son running to you going, Mommy, you need a new bucket or whatever it is,
Yes.
because that was a huge part of the treatment. But the silver linings is I have formed such closer bonds, not only with my immediate family, but with friends that when you've got friends on the fence, you're not quite sure that whether they're acquaintances or friends. That's
Yes.
when we find out who's we.
Mm.
I've built so many new relationships with people, new friendships with people. I have met so many wonderful people on my journey where, we sit in the chemo center together and we're receiving our chemo and nobody's sure who must talk first. So I'm one of those that will just go, "Hi, I'm Margo," Um, and I've built relationships with these people, and we share our experiences and our journeys together. And it's finding inspiration in them as well. Um, Another little silver lining, and it's a very cheeky one, is I've lost 24 kgs.
Margo.
I think that's any woman's silver lining. I know it's the wrong way, but you know what? After all that punishment and all that throwing up, geez, I've got to
Yes.
have something good going for me,
Have a good body. Yes.
And there you go. This second round of chemo, now that I've been diagnosed at the stage 4, I'm on a different round of chemo. I've lost most of my hair, so I'm donning some really sexy caps here,
I
some
did tell
really
you it looked
sexy
hot
hats.
before we started.
Thank you. um, Losing the hair, but I know that it will grow back and it will grow back healthier and stronger and all of that. Um, some of the negatives is people tend to stay away from you. People don't understand. There's so many misconceptions about cancer. Is it contagious? No, it's not contagious at all.
No.
Is it must I do this around you or must I do that around you? No, you can just be normal around me, except please don't
Yes.
come to me when you're sick,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Mhm.
So those are a few of the good and the bad.
Thank you for sharing that, Margo. And I have 3 more questions left, but I'm very curious about Margo's journey. I think we all know what it's about, but why did you start Margo's journey? You do videos, you're on TikTok, you're on social media, you're talking about your journey. What's your aim with that? What do you want to achieve with that?
Okay. So I have a few reasons for doing that, but first and foremost is to give people the knowledge about cancer, give them the knowledge and the understanding of how and when and where to get tested. I'm also pushing the boundaries, and I'm pushing like Dischem and Clicks and all the medical places. I want them to understand that South Africa has a problem. South Africa has a very big problem. If you go to our government clinics and things like that, the women don't go for pap smears because they're in an environment where there's no privacy. There's no doors on the rooms. There's no curtains. So they have to lie in front of male and female with their
Yes.
legs wide open and have a pap smear. Now, would you want to do that?
No.
Absolutely not. So we have this situation where we've got hundreds upon thousands of women that need to go get tested and they can't get tested because they number one aren't educated about it, number two don't have the private financial means to go, and number three don't want to go through the humiliation
Yeah.
in a private clinic. So it's all about raising awareness, and it's showing people what I go through on a daily basis. So the good days, the bad days, the days where I put on my pretty face and like I'm talking about makeup pretty face, and I smile and everything's happy and everything's good. Showing people that you can have good days while you have cancer. Not every day is a bad day, but there's also very bad days. There's days where I'm in so much agony that I can't move. There's days where my legs just completely stop working because I've had so much radiation damage that I'm in my wheelchair. I got bought a walking frame, and everyone giggles at me because I'm 42 years old and I walk around with a Zimmer frame, but whatever. But, the thing is I want to inspire people. Go out there and tell people, have you gone for your pap smear? Have you gone for your prostate check? Have you gone for a breast check? Did you know that men can get breast cancer as well?
No, I actually didn't know that.
There we go. So it's not only a ladies thing, men can get breast cancer as well. So
Wow.
it's really important, so these tests are so important. And never mind what I'm going through. Just think about what the family is going through.
Yes.
My son, who's 9 years old, he's so compassionate towards me. I mean, I get sick and he brings me a new bucket.
Sure.
A child at 9 years old shouldn't be having to deal with that, but he does, because he's my little rock star.
Yes.
My husband does whatever he can for me. He moves heaven and earth to try and make sure that I'm comfortable. My mom, I've just got this massive support structure, and I'm so very grateful for that. But I wish they didn't have to I wish they didn't have to do that.
To go through that, yeah. You know what, Margo, that was my next question is, I'm pretty sure you never expected this. And even for you yourself, this is something new that you are going through. So there are a lot of emotions and I cannot imagine what is going on in your head and in your heart. But I also think that for the close family, your children, your husband, the wives out there, the parents, I don't think people realize how to handle it, what to expect. It's, I think, cannot imagine anything more scarier. So do you talk a bit about in your videos as well about what your family's going through? Because I think a lot of families and people on the outside that's not specifically going through what you're going through could do with some advice. Do you talk about that as well, with what the families are going through?
So Lee, I do sometimes actually put that in text, but what you've actually said now is very real. So thank you for that idea. I'm actually going to maybe do a series about talking about what families go through and the different emotions and things to ask, things not to ask, things to do, things not to do. I have written or wrote quite a lot about that in my Facebook posts. But I think a video would do very well with that. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
But yes, they do go through a lot. Dealing with somebody with cancer. In one of my stories, and I think it's in the article as well, I wrote about when you get told you've got cancer, it feels like you've got a gun next to your head, locked and loaded, and you're just waiting for it to go off every single day, every single minute. You're just wondering, when is it going to go off? And then you have your chemo, and then it starts like diminishing, and then you get results, and then it's back again. You know what I mean? So you're constantly on edge, and your family to deal with you like that is quite difficult for them. Because they're not quite sure, are you feeling okay? Are you not feeling okay? How do they approach this? It is very difficult for them. But honesty is the best policy. We were very open and honest with every single family member, including our son, even though he's only 9 years old. We were very honest about everything. And that's, for us, that's been the best way. Just be open, speak about it. There's no airs and graces. If I'm having a bad day, I'm having a bad day, and people just support me. If I'm having a good day, they all cheer and very happy
and happy
me,
with you. Yes,
absolutely. And we do whatever we can do. I tell my family, let me do what I can do while I can do it, and they're happy to leave me to do that.
Oh, Margo. Well, lastly, I know you mentioned BackaBuddy earlier. you know, but how can our listeners and our readers get more involved? I mean, all your details is in the article where they can actually go and see your BackaBuddy page and follow you on social media, especially if they want to listen to you and follow the Margo's journey. Is there any other way that people can get involved with your journey specifically?
Absolutely. So thank you for saying this, for asking this. So number one, sharing
Yes.
is caring. So please share this video, deVonk's articles, magazine, all of that first, and then please share Margo's journey. It's on Facebook. I haven't put it onto Instagram. I'm specifically focusing on Facebook and on TikTok.
Okay.
So my videos are available on both platforms, as well as my writing only on Facebook. I have a BackaBuddy account, which you spoke about. Thank you. So any donations into the BackaBuddy fund I would be very grateful for. I do have medical aid, but unfortunately, medical aid hasn't covered everything.
Yeah.
I do work when I can work. I have a lot of good days. I have a lot of bad days. I'm self-employed. So, I'm not always able to do the work that I need to do. I also have a company that I do some work for, who are also giving me treatment. They're called psilocybin. So we're waiting for the medication. They've made specific cancer medication for me. We're waiting for that medication to come through, and I'll also be helping them a little bit with social media, because that's what I do.
Yes.
And I'm waiting for that exciting bits and pieces as well. So if they go onto the psilocybin's website and they want to purchase things there, I actually have a purchase code.
Okay.
And they will get 10% off. But I also then receive 10%.
Okay. That's amazing.
And that also helps me on my journey as well, because it helps towards funding my medication.
That's wonderful. Margo, thank you. You are very dear to me. I love you to bits. And I'm so glad that you are part of this family. And thank you so much for talking to me today. Thank you for giving us some insights. And we are going to keep on sharing. Believe you me.
Yay.
Everyone who's watching this is going to keep on sharing. And good luck with everything to you and your family. Thank you so much for today.
Lee, I'm so blessed. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for allowing me to speak about the awareness, and hopefully getting this message out to somebody, even if it just inspires one person to go get a test. It's amazing. So I'm very grateful. Thank you very much. And thank you for letting me be a part of the deVonk family.
Oh, thanks, Margo. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.